Hey guys, People Close Gamers back to react to Arrow, Season 5, Episode 2, The Recruit. So, I would assume from the title of this episode that Oliver is going to follow up on Felicity's advice, and he's going to recruit a new team that we saw from the Comic-Con trailer. It looks like it includes Wild Dog, who we saw a little bit last week. Oliver shot him with an arrow. Mr. Terrific, Curtis, seems like he wanted to join the team, sort of just because he got beat up once, so his motivations don't sound that great, but I can understand in the city he lives in. You know, maybe they'll expand on that more, that he would want to learn how to fight. And he is an Olympic athlete as it is. And Evelyn, which is the least one I am excited for, but maybe they could kind of redeem her character from last year because I figured she'd come back in some big way. I think the reports is she was supposed to be Artemis, so I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's another character. I just know Artemis is in this season, was reported around Comic-Con, so I think it's her, but I guess we'll find out. I'm recording this pretty late Friday night, which is really Saturday at this point. Yeah, I apologize for this getting up a little late. Supergirl, Flash, Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. you should be able to see right now on the channel. They've all been up. But Arrow and Legends here are going to get up a little later just because, you know, it was kind of a rough week in college. Anyone that goes to college or high school, you know, and has a job as well and, you know, tries to live a social life, it's really hard to balance everything, and this is a really hard semester. So it's not that bad. I'm trying not to be like last semester at the beginning of the year where I was like missing some episodes by like 6 weeks. I'm trying to get out, you know, this content out to you guys as fast as possible. I know there is, believe it or not, actually some people out there, some of you guys that actually watch my reactions every week, and I really appreciate that. So I'm trying to get things, you know, out as fast as possible, but just stick with me. Also last week on Arrow, getting back to that, yeah, you know, it was a pretty brutal episode of Arrow. It was nice to kind of get back to its roots, including a basically shot-for-shot, word-for-word scene of Oliver getting interrogated from Season 1, Episode 1, which was absolutely great, a little bit different. Broke the guy's arm with, you know, with the chair, which was great. We see Speedy kind of conflicted as coming back as Speedy. You know, Thea was really struggling with that. Oliver struggling, of course, in his new mayor role because he's the only one out there as the Green Arrow. We got a little bit of John, who seems like he's in kind of Eastern Europe, Mediterranean, kind of Balkans area with the military. So we'll see that going forward. He'll eventually come back. Felicity was fine last week. I think she had a lot of good points of trying to make a team, a new team, because Oliver needs it, not only to take to watch his back, but to take the pressure off of him out there so he could be more of a mayor, as he said. We saw that she had kind of a new man in her life. I hope we don't focus too much on that. We got Tobias Church, played by the great Chad Coleman, who played Tyrese on The Walking Dead. He had a brutal, awesome introduction, so hopefully he's a great villain going forward. And we got somebody at the end that killed one of those poor 4 good cops that, you know, Oliver and Lance trusted. So we'll see more about him, who the hell he is. He said he's not the Green Arrow, clearly, so seems like he has a lot of skills, a lot of stuff, ninja stars and everything else. Lance came back, you know, being a drunk again, but it looks like he's finally moving forward, and we had some nice tributes to Laurel. So, you know, that's pretty much it for last week. I'm looking forward to this week, so without further ado, here we go. I am the Green Arrow. Alright, I like that intro, that's good. Alright, Oliver. Oh, there's Wild Dog, whose knee looks pretty healed since last episode. Guess he had no artery or ligament damage from the shot Oliver gave him. He also uses guns. Okay, that's different. I wasn't expecting that. That was basically Oliver's best way at dropping a recruitment speech to you. Oliver's not the best with words, so take it at face value.
It's really hot. I mean, not.
Still has an attraction towards him. This recruit doesn't look sure of himself, John. Inspire him. Be serious with Oliver. He'll kick your ass. He's gonna own all 3 of you at the same fucking time. Yep. Oh, a knee to the face. Oh, that's how you break a nose, man. Ow, man, that was into the pole. I think this could be just as bad.
If you need further evidence of that, then you walk down to the pier and you look at the statue of Laurel Lance. Get on the line.
Good. That was a good way to be like, hey, this is serious shit. People die in the Vigilante game. Yeah, it's the mask guy, isn't it? Fuck. Oh, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. If that's the mask guy, if that is, from the end of last episode, did his suit just come alive like Spawn and take in that guy? What the fuck just happened right there?
It's one of the advantages of having the mayor moonlighting as a vigilante.
A vigilante moonlighting as mayor.
Yeah, that's more accurate. More apt description there, Thea. Oh, Bravo team looks like they got ambushed. Oh shit. Bro, out of the doorway, bro. Find cover.
Can I talk to you for a second?
The goal of this exercise is to figure out how to work together to defeat one enemy.
Pretty boy Queen here thinks he's actually saving the city.
Yeah, little do you know, he's the one kicking your ass.
You haven't been drinking again, have you?
Sort of. I mean, a little bit, and goddamn it, this guy showed up, and he has to attack the one person we were trying to protect and convince the city safe. Oh, what the fuck, man? It's Scarecrow.
He's here.
Oh, shit. Well, he had him in a net, and Ray fucked it up.
I don't see him on any of the security
Yeah.
cameras. It's like he just disappeared.
Did he get pulled out of there?
I didn't see him do all that other stuff that I don't like.
Or did he just disappear? Oh, God, now this guy's like Scarecrow / Spawn, man. This is not good. I'm open to anything, man, but, you know, we don't want Oliver getting back to magical villains, not just because I don't want to see that, but him and this green team can't deal with that. They barely beat Dark.
Who didn't have 5 years? Laurel Lance.
Oh, man, why you gotta bring that up?
And now she's dead.
Yeah, man, we know.
This 5 years just full of pain.
He's so guilty. He feels so guilty. It's gotta be a give and take. You can abuse them, train them, but you also need to give them some kind of reward, some kind of positive motivation. Oh, and we have traitors in the army. Ah, damn it.
Your friend's cleaning lady.
Oh, God, we're back to
And he's very
her lying instead of Oliver lying from season 1.
I have to go. Thank you.
At Hive? So that's what they call the base? That's not a great name considering what they dealt with last season.
They'll listen to you.
You're gonna have to take off the mask for them to trust you.
I was wrong. And that's why I'm out too.
Or you guys are just too green, not ready, and being a little bunch of sissies right now. Oliver, sure, he's being physically and emotionally abusive, and he can be rough around the edges, sure. But I think it also, with Oliver, everything he went through, you have to earn his trust. You have to show that you're committed, that you're willing to make sacrifices, and that you realize this isn't a game. And being a bunch of little sissies who think you could do it on your own, or, you know, that he's being too tough on you, get over it.
You never talk about your time in Russia.
Never talks about his past in general. Alright, that was a good conversation between the two. Made a lot of sense what they were saying. Alright, well that worked out. Oh, fuck. So all the people who didn't ring the bell die. That's terrible.
Congratulations, Oliver.
God damn, man. I shouldn't expect the Bravo not to be ruthless, but that's fucked up.
And we're tagged back in our good
Oliver kind of get those people killed.
It's a world half against men with magic. All those metahumans in Central City.
Okay, so that's affected the military's thinking.
Tear the world apart.
Okay, I like that it actually has an effect. It's not just in Star City, it had an effect on the world. People knew about it. Ah, damn. That was a good young kid.
Sure, find our friend in the rags and hope he leads us to that weapon cell.
Maybe he could join the team. He seems like he's a lot better. Alright, well, good luck with that, Oliver. But interesting that maybe the cloth is some kind of magical thing passed down from the League or something else. If it's over 2,000 years old, maybe he sprung up in the wake of the Genesis event, but it seems like this has maybe been a mantle or something passed down. Who knows? Alright, Oliver, good luck. Hopefully your team shows up and helps. Oh, there he is. I'm calling him Spawn for the time being until he gets a name. So maybe this guy isn't the guy that it's been from the end of the episode. He's a different guy, and hood and a mask. Maybe someone else. We haven't seen him use any weapons yet. So two different people that look pretty similar is not a good idea. Nice! Good stab. That's good work. Alright, second face-off. Also, cool fight scenes, but the issue is you can really tell that's not Chad Coleman. Oh, shit. That's different. Okay, so that's why he has radioactiveness on his clothes. He's the last soul that lived from the town that Felicity blew up. He wants help from Ragman, and he obliged. There you go, Spawn.
Let her go. It's over.
Alright, so, cool fight scene. There was some cool things in there. It was a little bit hard to hear Spawn Ragman there, but probably when I go back and edit, I'll be able to hear it. Also, they gotta fix some of those camera angles sometimes I understand, Tobias, it's not dark or anything else, but you could clearly tell that's not, you could really tell that's not Chad Coleman.
It's been nearly 10 years since that day.
Damn, that's right.
So far I've failed.
It's been fucking decades since we've seen that.
Legacies of our fathers.
Alright, so we'll get maybe Spawn here to join the team. That's an interesting, if that works, that's an interesting recruitment to the team. Someone with actual powers. We haven't seen that before in Arrow.
Want to read your confession before you sign it?
They're gonna pin it on him. It's always great.
Yourself to the city that she loved.
Come on, Quentin. Get off the bottle and honor Laurel. That's what you want. She was a public servant too.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
That seeing the whole Genesis thing shook her up again. Which it should. Even though she did the right thing, he still killed tens of thousands of people.
No chance.
Looks like he's sticking with that. Oh, is Big Spawn joining too? Tobias is completely unaffected. He's just enjoying his life.
Can't stay away from me, can you?
That's not the Green Arrow, Tobias. That's the other guy. You should be afraid of him.
You almost killed the Green Arrow the other night. If you had, you'd be dead right now.
So he wants the arrow.
The Green Arrow is mine.
Okay.
Kill him. You die. Who are you? Prometheus.
Okay, so we have a name, which is not the guy that was the rad guy. So, two different characters that look pretty similar, not the best costume design choice. Alright guys, so that was my reaction there to Arrow, Season 5, Episode 2, The Recruits. This was a solid episode. I didn't enjoy it as much as the premiere, but that's also to be expected. There's usually a drop-off after the premieres, unless it's a huge event going on, something like, what's going on in Flash. But it was a good episode. There's definitely a lot to talk about here, so I'll try to get through it as quick as possible. Not to just, talk fast, just so you don't have to watch me talk for 25 minutes after a reaction, unless it's a finale or something. So, main points of the episode, we'll start with the recruits, our new recruits. Then we'll go to number 2 here, which is Ragman, that I'm basically calling Spawn at this point until they give him a better name. I think the third one is Genesis. And I think, kind of the fallout of that. And I would say the fourth one is that little shot there of one of our villains or something, Prometheus. So starting with the recruits, we knew from the Comic-Con trailer that it was going to be Ray Ramirez, Wild Dog, Evelyn Sharp, and Curtis, which is going to be later Mr. Terrific. So for the most part, that storyline was okay. I think there was definitely down points to the storyline, and I think there was highlights to the storyline. Them coming together at the end there, in one episode, maybe it was too quick. I would have maybe liked to see more. It's not like I wanted them to draw out the storyline forever of them just being, oh, we hate you, we don't know if we could trust you. But I don't know, it just seemed like too rah-rah there at the end. That we'll join you now. But it also makes sense. Like, I have conflicting thoughts about it. It also does make sense, though, because Oliver, he revealed himself, and it was supposed to be the idea of trusting him, and now you know my real identity. So I'm okay with it. It's a little awkward, but I'm okay with it, you know, now that I'm thinking about it. What I didn't like is that their initial of just hating him and being like, I understand he's emotionally and physically abusive. I get that, okay? But he's trying to gather a point with you. I think Felicity, for the most part, served her purpose in this episode, even though it got a little bit annoying. Her kept interrupting Oliver's sessions. I've kind of just gotten used to it at this point. So I guess those moments with Felicity don't bother me as much. But she did have a couple good conversations with Oliver that made sense. But I still think in the end that the recruits were a little bit of sissies. I think they were whining a little bit too much and were not working together to understand the point of what Oliver's doing. I mean, right off the bat, Curtis was the guy that was most in. Ella was kind of not sure, and Ray was completely, he's using guns out there. He was completely against what Oliver was saying, and didn't, believe in the training and, and all that other stuff. So then when they turn around, they're being little whiny sissies, I kind of have less sympathy for them, less understanding for them. But I think there is hope going forward in these characters. I do agree that Curtis is the farthest one. He is the farthest to go. If I am wondering, as Oliver was, what did he do in his Olympic training? Clearly it wasn't anything core-wise, because he couldn't even remotely do the salmon ladder. So, that's not good going forward. Evelyn, it reminded me in like the previously basically on Arrow that she's like 16 years old. So how much has she learned? I understand, Damien Dark killed her parents and everything else, but was she training before that? Like, how did she get any form of karate? It's implied that she's been in an active vigilante like Wild Dog on the streets, even though we haven't seen that. So hopefully they explain more of that. I don't think they're going to, but hopefully they'll explain more of these characters' backstories going forward, because we need to know who the hell they are. But for the most part, they did things that I would expect. Ray fucked up their first meeting with Spawn Ragman there, but he also got a part of the outfit and everything else, so we'll see what happens with them going forward. Going on to the second point, and talking about just... I mean, even before I go into the second point, let's talk about just a little bit of the quick points. John's little storyline there was kind of a deviation from the story. He's being framed for this nuclear bomb. It was okay. It's cool to check in with John. It felt kind of, not forced, but it kind of felt just like thrown into there when this is a big episode. We're getting introduced to 3 new characters right now. For the most part, at least as vigilantes. We've known Curtis for a little bit. We've known Evelyn in one episode. We didn't know Ray at all. So kind of throwing a John story in there with the flashbacks as well. And, what's going on with Thea and Lance, along with our villains and the flashbacks. It's like, it was a little too much. So the story was okay. It was fine. Wasn't needed in this episode. Could have been saved for later. I don't really have much more to say on that. As for the Thea Lance storyline, yeah, it was okay. I mean, I want Lance to have a purpose, not even in the wake of Laurel's death. I want him to not be drinking and to help out, be deputy mayor. That's great. I think he is right in the sense that, is this the right move considering he's a drink? He's an alcoholic, he's a drinker, is it just going to be, oh, hey, you have a job now, so I'm off the bottle? Like, he had a job being security, and he failed that. So I don't know about that going forward, but also this episode just proved more and more that Thea is basically the mayor. She says it, she does all the work, and she's doing great with that. But I liked her little scene there where she's like, oh, it's cute, you think you can replace me. She will come back eventually, but that was really cool. They also mentioned Roy in this episode for a little bit. A lot of discussion with the old team, which was cool. And, referencing a lot Laurel again, which if they don't do too much, they're doing a little bit too much. But I also like, in a way, that they are doing it some, because it kind of feels like as the seasons have gone on, and I know Laurel's been recent, but as the season's gone on, they've kind of forgot about Mortar's death and Tommy's death, and, he mentioned his father here for the first time in a while, so it's nice to say, he's forgotten kind of about Shadow and things like that since season 2, or season 3 in that one episode, but, remember who these people are, and, Oliver has a lot of guilt. It's one of his driving forces as a character, and he definitely has it with Laurel. So I think those beats could get old or could get disparaging of her memory if we keep doing that. However, in this episode, very effective, especially in her conversations, Oliver's conversations with Felicity and Thea's conversations with Lance. I think it really worked there. His conversations, with Felicity about the new recruits of, look, Laurel didn't really have any training and, not as much training as I did, and look what happened to her. So I thought those little moments were good there. The flashbacks, we're good. We're not, okay. They were average, but they were good as well in some parts. I think their best part was they directly connected what was going on in our present time and what was going on in the past. And it doesn't have to be all the time flashbacks have to do that, but I do like when they make sense. We don't go like, what the hell is going on here? What's the point of this story? I think last episode they were a little more effective in staying in the flashbacks a little longer. They cut a little bit too quick here, and I think that had to do with John's story kind of taking away from it, but I would like to see longer flashbacks because I want to know more about them, to care about them, because I think the Prophet's a very interesting storyline. So those are my points on those little points there. Going back to main points here, Ragman, Spawn as I'm calling him, very interesting that he is the sole survivor of Haven Rock. I think that's a pretty big deal. I think there was a little hint there of Felicity being affected by bringing it up again, which she should be, because even though she made the right decision, she killed tens of thousands of people. And even though there was no choice to make there and she did the right thing, still that should affect her. I thought that was going to cause her to leave the team. I thought she would be the most out of all of them, would be the one that would want to leave the team because of what happened. But nice that we got a little hint there. He has some cool, weird powers that it looks like he's joining the team as well. And if that's true, he's either a full-time member or a part-time member. This will be the first character with powers, because it seems like it comes from his suit, but with powers on Team Arrow. So that would be very cool going forward. I'm interested to know more of his backstory, the little things there with his suit, with his dad giving to him, saying it was, ancient. Felicity said it was over 2,000 years old, obviously radioactive from the explosion. So I think there's a history to that. Maybe he's a comic book character. If it's been confirmed as, him having a storyline or some synopsis, I don't want to know that down below. But if you know anything, if you know something, that means that you read up on something. If you have any theories on who he is, let me know them down below. But he's definitely an interesting character. I like how he's kind of an anti-vigilante. I wish he continues killing, but looks like Oliver's going to stop him from doing that, even though he was just killing people. So we don't know where Oliver stands on the whole killing thing. He was killing a lot of people last week, so I hope when he has to, he kills people, because I missed that Oliver, and it also makes sense. Going on to the third point of kind of connecting to that second point, Genesis, we not only had a connecting with Spawn, basically here, Ragman, and Felicity, but also a little tidbit as well as the connecting it with John. And the reason why I didn't mention this earlier when I was talking about John is because it connects to this main point. See, there is some thinking to this. It's that it looks like the world knows about it. It's been worldwide. And that this military, even though they're being kind of dicks, they are making money for themselves and everything else and are affected what happened with Damien Dark. I could fight ISIS and the Taliban, he says, and all this other stuff, but how do I fight a guy with magic? And basically, it looks like he's abandoning his military duties, why he became a soldier, and just going, hey, let me make money for myself, maybe for my family, why is this worth it? So I think showing the backlash, the impact of, even though he's a dick and kind of a throwaway character and everything else, he's just there to explore John's story. I think it is a nice little expanding of the universe that, yeah, these events just don't end when the season ends. Like, they matter. And it affects the world and has a lasting impact, and I really did enjoy that. Going on to the fourth main point, very brief, but it's about Prometheus here. We finally get a name here on this archer slash knife-throwing ninja star guy. He seems really cool. He wants to kill the Green Arrow. He wants it to be a showdown between them, kind of reminiscent of maybe treading a little too much similar water in Oliver versus the Dark Archer in Malcolm in Season 1. I don't want them to get that back to their roots, that we're treading old storylines from Season 1, but he definitely intrigues me, which I think is the main point. He also showed up here again, only at the end of the episode. And actually, earlier in the episode, and you'll see when you watch the reaction, I thought at first the Ragman guy or whatever, I thought that was him, and then as it was going on, I was like, you know what? He doesn't use a bow and arrow or anything. His suit is live like Spawn or whatever. So the downside to this character so far is they look too similar. They do. Prometheus and this Ragman Spawn guy, and correct me if you don't think this down below, if you have a different opinion. To me, with the masks, the voice changes, the hoods, the same kind of color, everything, they are pretty similar looking. There's a little bit more of like an ancient rap to the Ragman guy, where Prometheus seems to kind of have like, it looks like in the brief shots we've got, like kind of a mesh mask. And I'll put them side by side down below so you know what I'm talking about. But you should see them right now. But post-work magic. But it looks like it's a little bit different there. So we'll have to see more going forward. He did fuck up Church pretty good, which we've seen little bits of him in this episode. They got to do better camera angles and better shots there with his stunt double. But understandable so. You know, most actors don't do their own stunts, or majority of their own stunts. My fear, though, is I want Tobias, and I thought Tobias was going to be a major villain this season. And now Ragman, Spawn here, seems like he's a hero. He's an ally with Oliver. Our villain should be Prometheus and Tobias. And Prometheus having such an upper hand on Tobias, not really good to show his level of brutality in trying to unite the city under this one gang ship. If he can really threaten him that easily. So, interesting to see if Tobias will fight back against them. If he'll just kind of become subordinate to him, if he'll try to avoid him. I think that'll be an interesting storyline going forward, and he wants the Green Arrow. Maybe he has a history with him. Maybe he just hates him. Who knows? But overall, guys, that's my thoughts here on Arrow, Season 5, Episode 2, The Recruits. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What were the highlights of the episode? Did you like the flashbacks, John's story, kind of the new villains we got introduced here? Was there any Easter eggs I didn't catch? What did you think of the new team, the recruits that joined? Kind of Thea and Lance's storyline there. What do you think of Prometheus now and Ragman Spawn here? Do you have any theories on what comic book character he could be? Is he just original for the show? And what do you think of, Oliver's connection to the past, his conversation with Felicity, and any other thoughts and theories on the episode? Let me know them down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends if you'd be so kind. Until next week of Arrow, guys. Thanks for watching.